Imagine waiting for a final exam grade, right? But instead of just a letter on a page, the result dictates your entire financial future, your final security, your quality of life, your life choices, and so on.
Yeah, that's incredibly stressful.
It really is. Well, for 8 lakh bank retirees across India, waiting for the Supreme Court's April 8th and 9th docket to drop feels exactly like that. There's a lot riding on the MC Singla verdict, and bank retirees across the union will be listening in.
Oh, absolutely.
Welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission today is to unpack a video transcript analyzing this weekly list. We're looking at two massive cases that will essentially determine what lands in your bank accounts in the near future.
And honestly, looking at these dockets can be a nightmare. To the untrained eye, I mean, it just looks like endless columns of dry case names.
Right, exactly.
But underneath all those formatting quirks are the actual legal mechanisms that decide if and when people actually get their case heard.
Yeah. And before we get into the really complex web of secondary cases, we have to talk about the elephant in the room.
You mean the MC single pension updation case?
Yes, that one. Because there has been a ton of internet panic about it, like rumors flying around that the judge is going to be way too busy with another major case. This is what at least 2 decades of adjournments do to you. It conditions you to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Right? The Sabarimala case regarding the entry of women of all ages, specifically 10 to 50, into the temple following a landmark 2018 ruling.
Right. That they'll be too busy with Sabarimala to even look at Singla. Plus, if you look at the actual docket, this case is pushed way down the list. It's at serial number 249.
Which is pretty far down.
So how is that not a massive red flag that MC Singla is just, getting lost in the shuffle?
Well, I mean, it's a completely natural fear, right? Especially when you see your case buried pages deep. But here is where understanding how the court actually prioritizes things brings some relief to bank retirees.
Okay, lay it on me. Give me the lowdown on what to expect.
So the Singla case has officially been set for a Part 3 or final hearing on April 9th in Court Number 2. And more importantly, it's what the court calls part heard.
Wait, part heard? Because that just sounds like they got bored and stopped halfway through.
No, it's actually a good thing. Think of it this way, the judges have already started listening to their arguments and they've essentially just paused the timer.
Oh, okay. So they've already invested time into it.
Exactly. And because of that, it automatically retains a priority status to be finished. On top of that, the petitioners have been relentlessly filing early hearing applications.
Got it. So it's kind of like having a VIP stamp at a crowded, by invitation only event, Even if you're standing way at the back of the physical line, the doorman knows you're next.
Right? The momentum is already there. The Supreme Court dictates its own schedule, so regardless of a case's physical placement on a piece of paper,
That past momentum keeps it alive.
exactly, it will be heard.
Okay, well, while the Singla case shows how past momentum can keep a case moving, our second issue shows what happens when that momentum just completely stalls out under its own weight.
So, to retirees watching this, please be rest assured the weekly cause list for week commencing April 6th at the Supreme Court is out, and MC Singla is definitely on the list.
Or to use a golfing analogy, MC Singla has made the cut.
Now, shifting focus to court number 5 now.
Yeah.
With Justice M.M. Sunresh, appointed August 31st, 2021, and Justice Prasanna B. Varale, appointed January 25th, 2024.
Right, I'm looking at this massive Indian Banks Association or IBA transfer petition regarding special allowances. And it's sitting at serial number 210.
Which is a massive tangled snowball rolling down a hill, picking up hundreds of people.
Literally. The court has tagged it with Chinmoy Majumdar's case, which was previously linked to Kalia and Kashyap. We're talking about 191 petitioners here.
Including former UCO Bank DGM R.D. Prasad Singh.
Yeah. So I just don't get it. How does mashing all these individual grievances into one giant mega case actually help anyone get their money faster?
Well, usually the court club cases together to avoid repeating the exact same legal argument, 191 times. The core issue here is whether superannuation benefits, things like gratuity and pension, should be calculated on top of these special allowances.
And just to be clear on the stakes for you listening, if they win this, it isn't just some nice little one-time back paycheck.
Oh no,
It fundamentally changes how their monthly pension is calculated going forward for years to come.
precisely. The stakes couldn't be higher.
Absolutely.
But to your point about the mega case stalling out, bringing Mund 91 petitioners together creates a massive logistical headache.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and unlike the Singla case, no one in this giant cluster has recently filed an early hearing petition.
Wait, really? None of them?
Right, so being on the weekly list doesn't automatically guarantee you a spot on the daily list for an actual hearing.
So it's less like a streamlined lawsuit and more like a massive freight train. It's carrying 191 different cargo cars, but right now there's no engine pulling it forward.
That is the perfect way to visualize it. Getting onto the weekly list just means your train is in the rail yard, it's on the track, maybe a side track, but without an active push by an engine, that heavy train just sits there.
Which is incredibly frustrating when you realize there are real people sitting in those cargo cars, waiting decades for the pensions they earned.
It really highlights a very real tension in the legal system between administrative efficiency and individual justice.
It really does. Which leaves you with something to ponder today. When the legal system bundles 191 individual petitions into one massive mega case, does it actually speed up justice by handling it all at once?
Or does it just create a sprawling bureaucratic bottleneck?
Exactly. Does it just delay life altering financial relief even further? Definitely something for you to think about while you're waiting for those final exam results to post.
I have a favor before we wrap up. If this channel helps you understand what's happening bank retirees space, I'd be honored if you'd hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of informed viewers. Until next time.